Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend so far. I have been really inspired and processing a lot of energy within myself and really reflecting on how I can take the past couple years of my life and turn it into a way to help other people. And I'm sure one day I'll write a book about it, but at this point, it still feels really, really close up and almost like I haven't integrated all of it yet. And so I'm being cautious of that. And I'm also realizing that there's so much that I've learned that I would like to pass on to all of you and help all of you, because I know this is a huge time of transformation for so many people. The pandemic has given us all no choice but to go internal and to work on ourselves on the inside. And it's interesting because I was actually doing that way before the pandemic had even started. When the pandemic had started, I was already on my way out of it. And this time has been more of a time of growth rather than a time of suffering for me. Last year I talked a lot about the dark night of the soul, and a lot of people, reached out to me and said, I know what you're talking about. I've been there. It's awful. It's horrible. But anybody that's been there also knows that there is such a huge amount of energy on the inside of that suffering. And the way that I mean that is there's a part of you, your soul, that can feel into the energies beyond that suffering, even if it's so bad that you feel like you can't even live here anymore. Even if it's that bad that you feel that way, there's always an energy on the inside that you might be able to feel if you tune in, if you ask yourself, like, what's the purpose of this? Your mind may not know how to process that kind of a question, which can lead you to really shut down even further. If you're feeling cut off spiritually, you're cut off from yourself, you're cut off from the world, you're cut off from your friends, you're cut off from everything. There's one part of you that can keep tracking with you, and that's your soul. And your soul essence carries you through your entire life and brings purpose and meaning to every moment of your life. And when I was going through that, and I just recently, I feel, got out of it, maybe still at the tail end, but I really feel an ease in my soul that I did not have a year ago, definitely not 2 years ago. It really started 5 years ago after my grandma passed away, and I was with her to the end. And it was really, I don't talk about it very much because it's a very personal experience for me, but that's what triggered my dark night in the very beginning, because I was very, very close with her. She was like the glue of our family, and she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and a few months later she passed away in my home. And my family took care of her till the end, and I watched the dying process of a person that I really cared about, deeply cared about, and I didn't realize how much it would affect me until it had already happened. And that's how life is, there's touch points that make an impact on your soul, and sometimes you don't know what that really meant to you or how that changed your life until it's not there anymore. And what that loss did for me was it made me realize that I'm a human being. And before that point, the way that I had perceived life and death and all things spiritual were from a place of oneness. They weren't from a place of humanness, but of perceiving everything from the point of view of source energy. And that was the energy I was immersed in when I wrote Teachings from God, when I channeled Teachings from God. And when I experienced that first loss in my life at age 19, everything started to fall apart after that. And it was, I wouldn't say it was completely debilitating. It got debilitating, but not at first. At first it was, I was trying to redefine my reality, and I was trying to exist in a world that I felt unsafe with. Because the way that I responded to that loss was not how I thought I was going to respond. I thought, if I have seen the depths of the universe and I've felt unconditional love, and I'm not afraid of dying myself, and I knew what was going to happen, and I thought I was in a place of complete peace with it. So there's things that trigger these dark nights of the soul, is where I'm going with it. And there's always an intelligence behind it. There's always a reason why these triggers come up. And it's not to wreck your life, it's not to break you, it's to make you into the being that you are praying to be. And sometimes it takes you to the depths, it takes you to your knees in the process. There's something that I held on to this whole time during this dark night of the soul. I didn't speak to many about what was going on within me because it was so heartbreaking and destructive. And so it started with that loss, and it progressed into the daily migraines, it progressed into debilitating anxiety, it progressed into debilitating depression at one point because of the headaches. And all of these things are connected. It's not, it's not all of these random things that are happening to you. It's a symptom of your soul trying to reorganize and trying to find a way forward in your life that you have not taken, a path forward that you have not yet taken, and you're paving it for yourself. That's what scared me, was I realized that nobody could tell me the answer except for myself, and I had no idea. I had no idea what the answer was. I had no idea how to feel better. I had no idea how to talk to anyone about it. Even when people appeared, I couldn't verbalize it because I didn't know what it was. All I knew was I felt crushed on the inside with no windows, no doors, no way to escape. And I knew by the great saints and the great masters, including my teacher, my master, Master Chugni Lin, who I talked very intimately with all of these things with him. And he helped me to see that this was a gift. And no experience of the dark night of the soul feels like a gift. No part of that experience does. But there's some part of you that can feel this itching, like this itching on the inside, or this desire on the inside to see what it's all about, because there is a way through. Even though you may feel like there isn't a way through, there always is a way through. And this is relevant for all of us right now, because we're all going through a global pandemic. So the consciousness of humanity, of the planet, is about surviving. It's about transcending trauma and drama on a daily, hourly basis. So stick with this. Keep every day when you wake up keep stating what your purpose is. You may not know what you're supposed to do, but your sole purpose of living here, that's purpose enough. So don't fail to remind yourself that every day, especially when you're in a really trial sort of place and you have no idea how you're going to get out. Align yourself to that energy within you that is not fighting, but aligning to this grander mission inside of you. To be happy, to be fulfilled, to have people around you that fulfill you and hold space for you and all parts of you. And maybe it's aligning to this grander part of you that you don't know exists, but you just feel. You have to hold space for that too. All of these things encourage you to find a path forward out of this dark night of the soul. And it's a lot of praying. And it's a lot of praying when you don't feel better too. When you're in a dark night of the soul, you don't feel better when you're praying. You don't feel better when you're practicing Qigong or whatever your thing is. You're doing it because you know that it's going to work with time. So the other thing is open yourself up to the right people around you that can support you. You might feel that's one person. Maybe you don't even know who that one person is, but open yourself up to the possibility that that person will present themselves to you when you open to it. It's really, really, really important to have at least one person. If it's not a family or a friend, then a therapist. I do therapy every week. It's been hugely important for me. And I would suggest that you allow that one person or two people or three people to be a part of your journey. Allow them into your journey. Because connection is so important. And it's not just important for you to release, but it's important for you to hear their story as well. Their story helps you to understand your story. So it's a sharing with other human beings that can understand what you're experiencing. And it doesn't have to be, this existential crisis, this huge dark night of the soul like I had, which went on for years and years and years, and I thought may never end. It doesn't have to be that. It can be that you're suffering from, the lack, the isolation, the lack of things that you're used to having in your life. At this point, we've been in isolation for so long that it's become normal for most of us. But the desire and the loss is still there, This is just what's coming to me today to talk about. And I think it's important that we do, or that I do stay in touch with what's relevant to me, what I'm thinking about, what I'm feeling about. As many of you have commented, that you can see my lightness coming back, and it's so true. My lightness is definitely coming back. I feel like myself again most of the time. But I'm still moving with a lot. I'm still moving through chronic pain. I'm now 5 months clean of all pain pills, which is huge for me, and I'm titrating off an antidepressant that I was taking because I was in such a bad place at the time, and I'm titrating off it, and that's been a journey in itself, which I don't know if would be relevant to any of you, but for those that have gone on and tried to get off, it can be a really, really gruesome, long process, and that's been a mini dark night of the soul in itself, dealing with those chemical changes in my brain that have nothing to do with me as well. So there's so many lessons that I'm learning. So many lessons, and how to be me through it all, even when I don't feel like me, even when I don't look like me, you know. So that's a little bit of what I've learned, and we can go so much deeper on this subject if you guys want me to. But let me know your thoughts, and you can always post comments below. I can respond. I will try to respond to each one of you if you have a question. I can't probably make a video for each question, but I will definitely do my best to respond. And if you like this video, feel free to share it, like it, subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be making more videos. And make sure to turn on the notification bell so that you also get notifications when I upload. I think that's about it. I'm taking a break from social media, so not including here. I'll be still staying on YouTube, but I'm taking a break from Facebook and Instagram and the other places. So for now, stay tuned here and let me know your thoughts below, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.